Good morning, Westeros!
And welcome to our Morning Throners podcast. I'm Nelson.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Kyle. And we're your Morning Throners.
And welcome back to another episode of your favorite Song of Ice and Fire podcast. We are your Morning Throners with Samwell 3 on deck. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Great.
Perfect.
I want to get Kyle's thoughts on the chapter before I say anything else, before I taint his thoughts. Kyle,
thoughts?
Taint my thoughts.
Taint's a good word. Word of the day calendar.
Yeah. Multiple uses.
I don't know, man. This was like I'm in the middle on this one. It was all right, but it was a lot of just Aemon dying, and then Sam, kind of being cool at the end. I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle. Like I said, it was long.
Jeff, thoughts?
There, not a whole lot going on. This, it could have been a shorter chapter.
It was relatively short.
I didn't mind it. Easy read. Aemon's cool. Aemon's kind of old man dreams are cool. Daeron's a bitch. Sam goes ham at the end, which was cool. And that's, I didn't mind it. Nothing great.
His transformation was all right. He kind of he was whining at the beginning too. And that was kind of when I was like, all right, fuck you. I'm over this.
Yeah,
be a whiner Jerry. He's like, Daeron isn't here. He won't come back. Oh, it's like, Sam, get up, man. And then he does. And then it gets a little redeeming at the end. So, like I said, I'm in the middle.
Yeah, you guys kind of said the synopsis. They're in Bravos now. That's where they were taking the ship to. And Daeron's not helping at all, basically. They have no money, or either they have no money or Daeron has all of their money. But, yeah, then Aemon is obsessed with dragons. Seems like he's kind of going crazy. He's sick, not going to last very long, seems.
I actually don't think he's going crazy. I think he's about as lucid as he could be.
We'll get into it.
Oh, shit.
So he tells Sam.
I have been recording with the wrong microphone this entire time.
Just switch it up now. So he tells Sam, I need you to go find the dragons. And Sam has to wander out. Sam decides he's going to find Daeron first. That's more important. He kind of succeeds. He runs into some people on the way. Kind of cool. And then, gets into a fight with Daeron. Also kind of cool. But, that's the synopsis. Yeah. I like the chapter. I think there's some cool connections. The one thing I do want to say is...
Oh, it mentioned Dunk and Egg.
The one thing I do want to say is they do mention Dunk and Egg, which is what the new TV show is about. So if you're listening to this and you've read the main series, but you haven't read Dunk and Egg, you're going to get spoiled on the TV show by listening to this episode. I feel like that's a disclaimer we kind of need to say now, you know what I mean? Because there probably are a lot of people that listen to this, have read the main series, and haven't read it.
You might have to throw early spoiler alert into that.
That's what I'm kind of saying.
Because people aren't going to know that Dunk and Egg are a thing.
And, if you plan on watching the new Night of the Seven Kingdoms show and you haven't read the books that it's based on, you'll know if you have. If you have not read the books it's based on, then you might want to skip out on this podcast, this episode.
No.
But how much?
We can try and alert you at the time.
You need to skip over that 2 seconds.
How much does it really get into any of it?
It says nothing. Nothing that crazy.
That'll ruin it for Nelson. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I really got much Dunk and Egg content out of this.
All right, let's just jump into Sam, and we'll see when we get there.
We'll put an extra spoiler warning at the time, but there's going to be a few things. I feel like there's even a few things scattered throughout. But
let's just say, sure. But Kyle hasn't even read the third one, but he's already kind of spoiled to this point on Dunk and Egg.
There's a major thing that Aemon says in this chapter that is a spoiler for how the first book ends, which is what this season of the TV show is going to be about, and we can give an alert for that.
Which I get it, but to say that there's no spoilers at all, Kyle knows that there's a Dunk and Egg kind of future.
It's not spoilers for Kyle. Kyle's good. He's read the Dunk and Egg books. I'm saying it's a spoiler for anyone who hasn't read the first.
Yeah, but he hasn't read the third one.
I got you. Anybody going into the TV show blind,
we're reading these in release order. So at the point of Feast for Crows, there can't be third Dunk and Egg spoilers. Third Dunk and Egg hasn't come out yet.
Well, it's somewhere in George's head. All right, let's jump in. So we come into Sam, who's waiting for Daeron to return. We kind of learn that they're in Bravos, and that they've been here for a couple days, and we kind of figure out why, that they're in this kind of damp, no fire lit room. It's kind of obscure at this point, what's going on, why are they cold?
Yeah,
it seemed like they were pretty well off when they left, right? Well supplied.
Yeah, and Sam even says at one point when they first got here, they did just have like a bag of silver. Like, he sounds like they were pretty well off. And again, I'm kind of confused on if they're still well off. Later, Daron says, I still have money for more wine or for a girl or something like that. Like, is that money that he's earned? They ran out of money and he's earning money from singing, and at the moment he has more money for whatever he's saying? Or is it just like, oh,
I think that's some of it.
Daron's just running around with a sack of silver they came with. Like, that just seems like a poor decision. Like, leave that.
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like he did let Daron spend a lot of it, though.
Well, it seems like they kind of wasted some, right, on like a healer, whether you call that wasting or not. But they've spent some of it. Like, they have this room that fits 8 people.
That's what I'm saying.
They're being
like,
charged
he
for
let
8 people.
Daron picked the big room with the fire, and like, I mean, he did a whole bunch of dumb shit. So it seemed like Sam let it happen, I guess.
Well, I guess some of it made sense when they got here because they didn't plan on staying long. But then Aemon just wasn't ready, so they had to keep waiting and waiting for him to get better. And then
I think Bravos kind of swindled him a bit, right? Like, obviously the captain of whatever ship that was, and then Daron just got swindled into the Night Walkers.
What are you talking about?
Just how they started spending money, right? Like temptations, Daron's temptations, the people. Like, the ship captain was like, screw it, I'm taking your money. The healer probably upcharged knowing that Aemon was full of pneumonia or whatever, you know.
Because they could. It is what it is. They know they don't speak the language. I just feel like that's like a classic thing when you go to like a tourist place in a foreign country, you're just getting
you don't know what you're
off.
paying. Yeah. You don't know what you're paying for.
Well, and I mean, they even make a point of that in this one, right? Like, the night belongs to the thieves, kind of. Yeah, it's like, seems like that's like the whole point of this place. So of course they're getting ripped off.
Yeah. So Daron rather be out partying than hang with crying baby and crying Gilly.
Yep.
Understandable for sure. Especially like this nightlife is kind of like, I don't know, New Orleans. Are we on Bourbon Street right now? Is Bravos Bourbon Street? They're having a good time, partying, nightlife.
I mean, it seems like it's when Sam goes down, he checks like 20 different inns. I had a list of the inns. There's a lot of exactly. It sounds like
going
on.
Street.
Yeah,
and so he'd rather be hanging out with the courtesans.
And Sam, to your point, Sam even says like, who could blame him? And he's like, well, I can because I'm the one that's stuck here with all the other bullshit. But like,
I'm the one being an adult.
But the one thing that does piss Sam off is he's been writing songs about like this one courtesan named the Moon Shadow who saw him singing by the moon pool and gave him a kiss. So now he's writing songs about her. And he's like, yo, bro, your whole point is like you're supposed to be singing songs about like the valiantry of the Night's Watch to get people to join us, not like singing songs about like kisses. You don't get kisses. There's no red lips is what Sam says on the wall. That's not why you're joining the wall. It's for red lips.
I just think that's a bad recruiting strategy as well. Like, who in Bravos is signing up to go to the wall?
Nobody.
Well, I think also this Bravos is kind of what allows Daron to do what he's doing. Like, if he was doing this in a bar in Westeros, they might be like, wait a minute, you can't.
Jordan was out and about.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, Daron just coming back night after night to the same bar singing songs not about the Night's Watch.
But like, if you're out on the recruiting trail and you're in a spot where no one's going to leave free country to be a guard of an ice wall,
give their life up to go up there,
like, this culture doesn't even care about the wall. There's a sea across from them. It's not like he's in the Seven Kingdoms even trying to recruit people that like maybe understand what the wall is.
Yeah,
these people probably don't even care.
Yeah,
like,
that's
okay.
fair.
Like, stand on your ice wall. I'm chilling here with my courtesans.
There's layers to it, right? Like, the first layer is back in time. Even if there was enough gallantry on the Night's Watch to get just like random people to join it, it would only be in Westeros where people are benefiting by this. And even now, that doesn't fly in Westeros, so it's definitely not going to fly in Bravos.
If you're looking for a basketball player, you're not going to a tennis match, right?
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. But Daron does say that some kisses are worth more than gold.
Yep.
Yellow gold, to be precise.
There's some lines in this, and I'm like, oh, what does that mean? I feel like it means
why yellow
bad.
gold? Why not? Well, why? There's not many times that they've differentiated gold from yellow gold. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of raised my eyes too. So
I didn't even pay any attention to that.
But yeah, again, Daron couldn't stand Gilly and the baby crying, and now Sam's mad at Jon. We got some beef stirring in the friend group.
Yeah, I mean, Sam could just ask Gilly. He seems to be like unsure if it's actually not her baby because like he never actually got the truth of it. He's just going off what Eamon said, which he doesn't know if he trusts, but he's pretty sure of it. He just hasn't got the 100%.
And like, what a fucked question. Be like, is that actually your baby? Like, what if she has no idea? And that, I mean, obviously she does, but
yeah.
The other big hint is when she was crying on the boat, it kind of made sense because she was like a girl who'd never been outside of like a single cabin who's now on the boat on the ocean. So it makes sense why she's like terrified. Now she's kind of back in like a room that's not swaying. She could be calm, but she's still just crying all the time. So it's like, why are you crying if we're in a safe place now?
true.
Did Kyle know, baby?
Yeah, Eamon says it to
Eamon
Sam.
talks about it, yeah.
Eamon says it to Sam
In the last Sam chapter we
Yeah.
learned? Okay. I couldn't remember. It's been a long time ago.
Yeah. Sam here basically says he hasn't confirmed it by actually asking Gilly, but he believes Eamon.
Eamon's pretty sure.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, it's kind of logical. Like, once Eamon said it, Sam's like, oh, yeah, of course. Right? Like,
Well, why did we send Eamon away?
he's old and dying.
Well, I know why we sent Eamon away.
I think it's the same reason. I think he says it. I think we know this.
You'd have to check your notes.
I can do that real quick. It'll be quick. Yeah. I think Eamon. I can look for in the second Sam chapter, but in the first Sam chapter, when John tells Sam that he's going to Old Town with Eamon, Sam says Eamon's too old for a sea voyage. He's 102. It'll kill him. And John says, yeah, but the risk is worse here. Stannis and Melisandre know who he is.
Right.
He has king's blood.
That's right. Yep. Yeah.
So then Mance's son also has king. I think Eamon riddled this out on the boat. I don't think it's a spoiler. I think we can kind of riddle this out. Mance's son also has king's blood, so we got to get him out. Gilly's son.
Well, yeah, I knew that was why Mance's son had gotten removed. I forgot about the Eamon connection, but yeah, it's adjacent. Yep.
Yeah, it's the same reason for both of them.
Yep.
All right, cool. And this is kind of a Nelson line, I feel, because I think we've talked about this too. It was like, when did John's heart turn to stone? Like, how could he do this, rip Gilly away from her baby? And Eamon said, the moment you put his name up for Lord Commander.
Yeah, and that's not even like the royal you. That's like you, Sam, because we had that whole Sam chapter where he's literally like lying and scheming to like the two people who each get like 400 votes.
I mean, to be fair, he did save. Like, John was like going to be put to death essentially. Otherwise, but at the same point, like, yeah, he did raise him to this position that requires big boy decisions that don't always go along with, you know, who his character is, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. He's in such a tough spot. If this really, like, there's a lot of crazy shit happening to John right now, right? And he has to react somehow. So he did what he thought was right.
Yeah, John.
Yeah. But it seems outside of the normal John, right? Like, this definitely seems like Lord Commander John decision, I guess what I'm trying to say.
John's no fun.
Yeah.
We've had this argument before, so.
So the Titan boomed, big, which is kind of stupid, right? If it's actually nighttime, like, you don't want to
wake every baby in the city up.
You don't want to go a cannon to go off just because it's nighttime. Like, figure it out, Bravos.
It's like
boom, it's dark.
It's like Sam said. It's to signal nighttime to who? Fucking Eamon. Everyone else can just look out the window and know.
Yeah, come on.
To be fair, it probably is useful for Eamon, but
it was nice that it woke up Eamon so we could actually talk to him. But woke up the baby. He's crying. Eamon's like, what year is it? 80 years ago. He's so afraid of the boom.
Eamon said something like this in the last Sam chapter on the ship, but here he says, "Egg, it's dark. Why is it so dark?" Just so sad. It's like, just he's thinking that he's a little kid with his brother, and doesn't even remember that he's blind. And Sam's like, "It's me. I'm your."
Well, he immediately comes back to reality though. He's like, oh yeah, that's right. And we're in Bravos.
Still sad.
No, I know. I'm just saying it's crazy.
Also, Sam let him sit out in the rain for an hour on the boat in the last Sam chapter.
It's Sam's fault.
Of course it's Sam's fault. What the fuck are you doing? The man's 102. You don't let him. And he's like, I wanted to feel the rain on my cheeks was his excuse. And Sam's like, no, you idiot.
I don't mind it. I mean, he's 102. He wants to go out. He's kind of writing his own end of the story a little bit, but
I mean, he definitely sees the writing on the wall, like you said.
Yeah, for sure. He says it later, but Sam's like, he's 102, but his wits had never wandered when they were on the wall, and they're wandering like crazy here. I guess we can argue on that a little bit later once we've heard some of what he has to say, but I guess Jeff was saying earlier his wits hasn't wandered.
Well, let me say this. I think if he's in like a dreamy state, like obviously he's getting popped dream wine, and like maybe he's like kind of sleep talking a bit. Like I think he's in a dream, but when he's actually conscious, he's pretty lucid. We could talk about it more later. Like he's pretty like on top of his thoughts. But I will say, from my experience, like that can go pretty quick too. Just in general.
Even in this one conversation with Sam, he asks why it's cold, and Sam answers wood. Like, we don't have money for wood. And Sam says here, when he asked the first time, Sam's like, we've had this conversation like he's like literally like 10-second Tom on 51st dates. And that's Eamon's kind of on that level now. You know what I mean?
For sure. I'm not holding that. I mean, figure it out, Sam. Get us some wood. Maybe he's saying like you still haven't found wood. Like you still haven't found wood. Sam?
Like, there's no wood.
I complain about it being cold in a place where it's cold every 10 minutes too, and it might be that, but it seems more like he's losing it a little bit. Kyle, sorry.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, he's pumping him full of drugs too, right? Like, you're giving a dude NyQuil, of course he's gonna say some weird shit.
That's a very good point. Yes, very good point. Yep. So they're giving him dream wine. I said earlier they brought a healer. That's where they got the dream wine. The healer,
which stinks. Which is like basically like, look, I can't do anything. I'm giving you this, and it's like half a bottle, right? It's like can't save you. Too far gone. The
doctor basically like, you can keep pouring money into me, and I can like maybe help him a little bit, but like he's 102. Like, we're not gonna get this guy doing jumping jacks anytime soon. He's on hospice.
You don't get better from this. We can make him comfortable.
Yeah, he's like, just give him this and let him sleep, man. It's just sad, right?
It is sad,
especially for a goat like Eamon.
So we find out that they did have a ship, or no, they don't have a ship. We didn't learn that yet. They had to find a ship that was traveling the Old Town. Preferably one from the Seven Kingdoms that still cares about the Night's Watch. That'll pretty much like let them hop on for free of charge was my take of it all.
Well, yeah, this is also where Eamon starts kind of like pushing to go to the docks, right? Like, we need to go down to the ships. We gotta go. We find out later it's to ask about the dragons, but
not actually find a ship.
Yeah,
but yeah, and we get a little bit of the backstory about the money flying out. So like they got the Bravos, they had tons of money, but Darren, like kind of overspent, like we said before, and then now they're still overspending, and it's been a while, right? Like at least a few days longer than they expected.
Yeah.
So
I think three days was my
at least because I think
timeline. Or 3 days after the other ship left.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought they said
when Sam's talking to the little girl later, she says it's been days and days since that ship left.
All right, up in the air. Timeline doesn't matter, like I've always said.
Yeah. And here, along with some of Eamon's other rantings, he says Old Town. When Sam's like, yeah, we'll go down to the docks and find a ship from Old Town. He says, Old Town. Yes, I dreamt of Old Town, Sam. I was young again, and my brother Egg was with me. With that big night he served. We were drinking in the old inn where they made the fearsomely strong cider. So many connections here. My brother Egg, big night he served, and then drinking in the inn where the fearsomely strong cider. Trivia, what's the name of the inn?
Give me a letter.
It's the something and something. Starts with a Q.
Quill, the Quill and
Tankard. Quill and Tankard.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Q is a huge
I got
giveaway.
half of it. The Quill. The Quill.
A huge giveaway.
I was thinking like Quill and I was gonna go Quill and Parchment, but obviously that was wrong.
Yeah. So
Tankard's cool because is that like what the ink's actually into? Would you call that a tankard or no?
That's what the beer's in.
Beer mug.
Yeah, I knew that. I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Like
I guess that's called
like
an inkwell, right?
Inkwell.
Ink pot.
But it's cool because Eamon says in the old inn where they make the fearsomely strong cider. If this thing was old when Eamon was there, like this thing is old when our boy Pate's there.
Well, we're not working with Youngtown here.
We're not working with Youngtown. That's true.
Yeah, but so Darren was sent out supposed to buy wine. That's Eamon's like, all right, give me some wine. He didn't have any because Darren's not back yet with the wine, and they only got canal water because Gilly was sent on a mission for the sweet water from this sweet waterfall that all the rich people are piping
go get
in.
the good water, and she comes back with pond water.
There's a river called the Sweetwater River, and they have an aqueduct that's pumped through, and rich people have this thing going right in their houses. Poor people go to public fountains or public public fountains, I guess. And they
Spigot.
said, Sam, I think it might all just be like a fucking fish spitting water into a big pool, just like one of those fountains. So just bring your bucket and scoop it up. So Sam sent Gilly off with the map. Hey, go get some of the good water.
She don't know what a map looks like.
And she's just never seen more than 10 people in one place, and definitely never seen more than 10 that aren't her sisters.
Yeah, why would he send her alone? What was he doing?
She was at Castle Black for a little bit, right? So she should know.
She's been fetching some water,
a little
I'm sure.
bit, but yeah, this is a different story.
But why was he like, yeah, go ahead, I'll watch the baby? Like, what? And Eamon, like, why wouldn't he just make her stay?
It could have been the other way around for sure.
Yeah, why not?
But then Gilly wouldn't have been lost, and then we don't have the other half of this chapter. So,
one cool thing that Sam does mention about their voyage: once they got past Skagos, it got bad. Nobody was eating anything. Once they got on land, everybody ate up except for Eamon. But at one point, when they wake up, the entire ship is coated in ice. Like, what's that show where they catch the crabs off Alaska?
Deadliest Catch?
Deadliest Catch style. And they have to put the mast down and just finish on oars. Like,
you better knock that ice off, or you're in trouble.
Yeah, fuck that.
I forget why. Oh, because they couldn't use the cages. If the cages were,
I mean, just mean in the olden times, you got ice on wood. That's like has to just weigh you down and stuff. You'll be riding low in the water. Can't be good.
Well, ice floats.
That's a good point. Fair point.
Wow. Big brain Nelson over there. Yeah. All right. But the other problem is why we're not heating this room up is because wood's so expensive here. We ain't got no trees.
Yeah,
Bravos ain't got trees.
It's a scarcity.
I think I actually said this in the last chapter because maybe it's in a spoiler section because I knew there wasn't trees. I knew trees were scarce in Bravos because when Arya's coming in, she talks about how on these mountains that are like on the bay on the outside, there's a ton of fucking pine trees. And Sam says here like, oh, they don't cut down those pine trees because it's a wind. Basically, it acts as like a windbreak. So that's why the woods are like, even though they have a bunch of pine trees right on the outskirts, the Bravosi know that if you cut that shit down, it gets bad in here. So
It's
interesting.
worse.
And answer my stupidly weird pedantic question. So good on you, George. And even horse dung, which I guess is like what you burn if you don't have trees. Even that's hard to come by
fuel.
here because we don't have horses because we use boats everywhere. So yeah, hard to start a fire. Expensive.
Got to get cat poo.
Yeah, they got a lot of
Enough cats running around. Must not burn very well. But Sam's like, we got to go, but I know another voyage is just going to kill Eamon. So we're stuck between a rock and a hard place here on what to do next.
Sam also has this mindset of when Eamon's stronger. Like, we're just going to fix this problem and then everything will be better. But, like, the doctor's like, dude, you're not fixing this problem. This is a means to an end. Eamon even says it later. And, like, the ship captain that the reason they didn't get on the ship, Sam thinks about it later, he was like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm not having that guy on my ship. He's just going to die while we're out there. Like, I don't want that on my hands. Like, come with me or leave him.
Which is hard. I can see not letting it go.
Again, yeah.
Not giving up hope.
Fuck yeah, I love my boy Eamon. I feel like where Sam is too, but he's kind of
tossed him to the wind.
He's kind of.
I mean, he's
sunk cost fallacy.
He's in a bad spot right now, right? Like, and everywhere that he's got to go is a rough voyage that you probably need to be in decent health for. So yeah, I understand.
Yeah, Sam at one point even says like, "Oh, if we could have got on that boat right away, we probably would already have been to Duskendale and Pentos." Like, it's not like we're getting on a boat and then we're at Old Town. We have like
we still got.
We're at stop one of like an
we got to go around the whole continent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So Eamon's like, "Yo, I'm going to the docks. You're taking me there." And he's like, "No, you can't go. You can't even sit up, old man. Like, you're not going to the docks." And he's like, "Fine, you go in my stead and bring me back someone who knows about these fucking dragons."
Yep.
That's all I care about.
And Sam's like, the dragons were a bullshit story. Darren was drunk. He didn't knew nothing. He literally just came back and said dragons, and he was drunk. And you're going crazy about it. Like, he knew no details. And Eamon's basically like, there's a kernel of truth in everything. Like, I need the info. And Sam's like, I can't even speak to these guys. I don't speak the language here.
But you'll figure it out, Sam. But Eamon's like, yo, I know I'm dying, right? I'm dying soon. And I'm going to be with my brothers, all my brothers, not just blood. My brothers are black, too.
Read this quote, Jeff.
Oh.
It might be all of us.
Oh, I'm a book.
When we reach Old Town,
I shall not see Old Town again. I know that now.
The old man tightened his grip on Sam's arm.
I will be with my brothers soon. Some were bound to me by vows, and some by blood. But they were all my brothers. And my father... he never thought the throne would pass to him, and yet it did. He used to say that was his punishment for the blow that slew his brother. I pray he found the peace in death that he never knew in life. The septons sing of sweet surcease, of laying down our burdens and voyaging to a far sweet land where we may laugh and love and feast until the end of days. But what if there is no land of light and honey, only cold and dark and pain beyond the wall called death?
He is afraid, Sam realized.
You're not dying. You're ill. That's all. It will pass.
Not this time, Sam. I dreamed. In the black of the night, a man asked all the questions he dare not ask by daylight. For me, these past years, only one question has remained. Why would the gods take my eyes and my strength, yet condemn me to linger on so long, frozen and forgotten? What use could they have for an old done man like me?
Eamon's fingers trembled, twigs sheathed in spotted skin.
I remember, Sam. I still remember.
He was not making sense.
Remember what?
Dragons.
Eamon whispered.
The grief and glory of my house they were.
The last dragon died before you were born,
said Sam.
How could you remember them?
I see them in my dreams, Sam. I see a red star bleeding in the sky. I still remember red. I see their shadows on the snow. Hear the crack of leathern wings. Feel their hot breath. My brothers dreamed of dragons too, and the dreams killed them, every one. Sam, we tremble on the cusp of half-remembered prophecies, of wonders and terrors that no man now living could hope to comprehend. Or,
said Sam.
Or not.
Eamon chuckled softly.
Or I am an old man, feverish and dying.
He closed his white eyes wearily, then forced them open once again.
I should not have left the wall. Lord Snow could not have known, but I should have seen it. Fire consumes, but cold preserves. The wall, but it is too late to go running back. The stranger waits outside my door and will not be denied. Steward, you have served me faithfully. Do this one last brave thing for me. Go down to the ships, Sam. Learn all you can about these dragons.
So before we talk about that quote, this is a good time to do our spoiler warning. If you have not read the first or second, I guess mainly just the first.
Well, you can't tell them the spoiler after they've read it. They're just going to go back through and comb.
That was very vague. They don't, if you don't want the spoiler, don't go comb through the quote we just did.
All right, I guess that's fair. I don't know.
That's a fair statement.
If you told me, I don't know.
There's a spoiler in there somewhere if you look for it.
Some people can't handle themselves. Once they know there's a spoiler out there, they're going to look for it.
That's a very prophecy quote. I think it'll be vague enough.
Kyle, what do you think?
Hold on. Let me make the spoiler warning. So for the next couple minutes,
put it in the timestamp.
That's fair. On YouTube, I'll put it in a chapter for when there's spoilers for this show.
I'm too dumb to pick it out, man. I don't know that I caught what Nelson's talking about.
Well,
here.
I mean,
I think if you tell me what
so
it is, yeah,
it's the brother again, thumped in the head and dying.
Yep. He says, "And my father, he never thought the throne would pass to him, and yet it did.
Yeah.
He used to say that was his punishment for the blow that slew his brother."
Yeah, they got in the fight. They were fighting on opposite sides, right?
His brother defended Dunk.
Yeah.
And Makar was the father of the accuser, so fought on the other side.
And accidentally killed him, essentially. Brother killed him.
Brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, his skull fell off his helmet.
Exactly. And then that's the end of the show, so that's the big spoiler. Again, I think if Kyle couldn't even find it then.
The big spoiler is that Tansy
I kind of got
hits
it.
the road and doesn't come back.
Well, we'll see her in season 2 probably, even though she's not in the second book. Because you know how HBO does it.
No, we're not seeing her. She's gone. Anything else from this that you want to hit on?
I guess at the end of the Dunk and Eggs spoilers, I guess.
Okay. Oh, that's the end of it? Yeah. How about just you can live longer on the wall? Maybe they should just send kind of oldish men. Like, all right, get up there, live your last few good years.
I mean, Eamon saying that, right? Like, he's using that as a reason. It's like it preserved me up there.
He might be right. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
A case study of one, it did.
Yeah.
You need a larger sample size, but
what about the rest of the people up there?
I need the average life of like a non-traveling guy. That's a
good question.
What are they called when they go out?
I think they call them the wandering crows or something like that.
No. The people that go north of the wall. What was Benjamin? No. Rangers. I need the stewards and the cooks. Like, what's the average life
for them?
span of a steward and a cook?
Yeah. Good question. I don't know.
102.
Yeah, I think it seems like Eamon is more maybe connecting things that don't need to be connected. Just a sad quote in general because he is like wondering what's next. He's like, is it really the land of milk and honey, or is it just pain and like nothing?
But he sounds pretty sure that he's going to be with his brothers, whether he's with his brothers in darkness and death or milk and honey.
I guess that's true.
Like,
and then he also is wondering just why was I left alive? Like blind. What's the point?
What is the point?
And I think now that he's hearing of these dragons, he's thinking this has to have something to do with it, right? Like
this is it.
This is my family, right?
Yeah, like
this is
if
my
I was
sign.
left alive, and then right now as I'm dying, I hear a story about dragons. Like, oh, that's like my thing.
I was alive to hear about this. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe.
Hear about it. Maybe something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Sam's gonna go out. He's gonna go find Daron first, and then Daron's gonna help him find someone to talk to the dragons about, and also get supplies.
Hang on. With Eamon still, he says, in my dreams, I see a red star bleeding in the sky.
That already happened.
Yeah, but he was blind for it, so he never.
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, for Eamon to know. But I mean, people were probably talking about it too.
For
though,
sure,
right?
but
like, yeah.
And then this is interesting because Sam mentions this later, and Sam, as far as I'm concerned, Sam misquotes it. Sam says like white shadows, but he says, I see them in my dreams. I see a red star bleeding in the sky. I still remember red. I see their shadows on the snow. When he's talking about dragons. So he sees the way I think this, he sees the shadow of dragons on snow. Sam says white shadows later, which is like, that's not the same thing, but
that white shadows don't exist.
To me, you could say like just the others maybe are white.
You're right,
shadows
Nelson.
themselves
I think
or
he
something
did
like that.
kind of twist the meaning.
Just a weird quote that I wanted to pull out of that.
Huh?
And then I also just think how at the end Eamon is like, or not. Or I'm just
wrong.
Man, and I'm fucking crazy, and I'm just feverish.
Or I just want to die looking for dragons.
I think that's just George giving us an out. Like, hey, I'm cooking with something with this whole prophecy thing, but just in case I go a different direction, Eamon is also just kind of crazy.
But Eamon's just an old man that was.
I think it gives Eamon some personality, right? Like he understands. Like he could just be, like that's what he wants to believe, but.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
I'm
wrong.
only half kidding about the George thing. I'm mostly kidding. More than half. But yeah. Okay. We're good to move on, Jeff. Sorry.
All right. So Sam's like, all right, I'm going out. I'm going to find Daron first, and he's going to help me get supplies that we need for this room and find someone to talk about these dragons to Eamon. He does mention that he had read about Bravos as a kid and really wanted to visit. Not so excited to be there now.
Yeah. Now that he's here, he's like, I just can't wait to go back home. Also, like it mentions that he like grabs a sword belt when he leaves, and then he's like, "You just shouldn't have done that." Like, does he should know the story
it
that
seems like he knows enough to know this was a mistake.
Yeah, if you're wearing a sword and you even touch it, then you're in trouble. And as soon as he leaves, I don't know if Sam's lost weight or something, but like he's pulling a sword belt up the whole. Or just like he's so.
Well,
fat,
he says that, but then everybody tells him he's fat. Then later,
well, he was fatter than most.
Yeah,
so
I know.
even if he's
even if
I know,
lost
but
weight,
it's
he's
just
fat.
Yeah,
just needs to notch another hole in his belt.
Yeah,
grow up, Sam.
It almost killed him, right?
What?
His sword belt had tangled around his legs.
That's true. When he falls in the creek,
you don't need your legs to stay afloat. He just can't swim.
I think your legs are like a lot of part of swimming.
Yeah, but if you were just trying to,
they're helpful. They're pretty helpful.
You probably don't need them.
If you just had to survive, you could not use your legs.
But this guy doesn't know how to swim great, and
that's why I said he's a bad swimmer. It wasn't as much as the sword. He just doesn't know how to swim.
It didn't help.
Well, I think he was pretty fucked regardless. But
all right, so Sam's off.
So he's sticking to the side streets. Lots of cats. He didn't like that. It kind of scared him.
Actual cats. We say cats a lot just to mean like random people, but we're talking about the animal, like house cats.
The meows.
Yeah.
And he's worried about Darren. He's like, fuck. Like, he's kind of like still got some hope that this guy's
not just being brother. A dickhead. Yeah, and he's like actually got hurt. He doesn't have hope that he got hurt, but yeah, he's worried about him. Like
is he dead? Like, did he get drunk? Did he mouth off to some Bravosi swordman that wants to get in a fight? Like, and that's kind of when we learn like anyone is willing to fight out here. Like, they just want to show off.
Yep. And so the Purple Harbor is to the north. That's where all the fancy stuff's at. But no, that's where all the Bravosis go. So no one really speaks the common tongue there. So the Ragman's Harbor is to the west. That's where he goes because that's where there's more just English speaking, I guess, common speaking people.
Common
not
tongue.
English. So Sam goes there, checks out a bunch of places he's known Daron has played before: the Inn of the Green Eel, the Black Bargeman, and Morogos. Then he asked some Pullman outside the Fog House if they'd seen a singer in black, and either they couldn't understand him or they pretended not to. Then he goes to the Outcast Inn, then the House of the Seven Lamps. Then he goes to a brothel called the Cattery. And then this is where he has this conversation with these two bravos. Outside the Cattery, he almost ran into two young men. One was dark and the other was fair.
Why were they called bravos?
That's just like what the term is for, like, I guess, these people that like wander around and like provoke fights.
So they're a subset of bravosi.
Yeah, it's like a bravo. Yeah, I don't know if it's like equivalent to anything in real history or not.
Gangsta?
Machismo, like
a hoodlum,
the machos, the bravos,
like a teeny bopper.
I don't know what any of these things are, but they just like provoke. They want to provoke fights, I guess, in order to show that they're good. Like theoretically, like Sirio Pharrell was one of these at one point.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll say. Like teeny boppers on the boardwalk. You ever go to the boardwalk and like it's like 9:00 and it's just all like 14-year-olds running around causing havoc.
Drunk 14-year-olds. Yeah.
Maybe this seems more like a profession that people just do for a living somehow, though. I don't know how that works.
See it that way. I see it more as like
a hobby,
young, like a kid, like starting to like want to be.
I don't even know if it's kids though, but yes, I agree. It's just dudes out there just trying to cause trouble all night for sure.
Okay, that's fair. So out of the two of these guys, one of them doesn't speak. We learn both their names eventually, but one of them doesn't speak the common tongue. The other one does.
It's like calling them the pirates, right? The bravos kind of thing. That's the way.
The land pirates.
Land pirates. Okay. So the way things work here is the bravos wear all these fancy colors, and like the nobles normally wear like black, gray, dark purple, dark blue. So Sam's in all black, and these guys are making fun of him. The one guy is speaking in Barbosi, and the other guy's translating the insults. And they're like, yeah, you're fat. The clanking of your sword just gave me a headache. And what are you doing in black? Who do you think you are? These two guys' names are Taro, who's the guy that speaks common tongue, and Orbello is the one that speaks common tongue, and Taro is the one that doesn't.
Yeah, because he keeps saying my friend Taro. So
my friend
blah,
Taro.
blah, blah.
Taro, yeah, so Taro doesn't. And then they're like, what do you think you are? Some great lord? And then this little girl comes up, and she's like, no, he's in the Night's Watch. Are you stupid?
This little girl. Yeah.
This little girl.
This
Thank
little
God for this
girl.
little girl.
Yeah.
Kyle,
what a sassy little girl.
She's no one, right? Yeah, it's obviously Arya, Cat.
You didn't say this when we were talking about like the general topic of the chapter, so I didn't want to point it out. I thought it was pretty obvious, but just in case you didn't get it, I was purposely not saying it. But yeah, this is another huge point of why this chapter is awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't.
Arya's a cute.
She didn't really do anything though. I mean, she did. I guess she showed up.
What do you mean? She just scared off two bravos.
Yeah.
And what's cool too is Sam. I was gonna say on a meta level, but Jeff and I had a conversation in the spoiler section last time. I think I'm just using meta too much. Another cool thing about this is Sam has met Bran too, right? Sam met Bran when he was going back through the wall. So
yeah,
Sam
I knew
has now.
Gonna say he knows a lot of the
And he wasn't
Starks more than he knows.
He doesn't know that he knows. But he doesn't know that Arya is a Stark, but he knows Bran was. Didn't tell John. But it's cool that he like in isolation knows.
He's meeting them all. Yeah,
is meeting a bunch of them. Yeah, he's got to somehow end up in the Vale and dap up Sansa before he goes to Old Town.
It's probably gonna happen.
and find Rob. Find Rob in the.
He's gonna meet up with Brienne.
In the Seven Heavens. You can find Rob.
Yeah, if it's all milk and honey.
So it's cool. She calls him stupid. I think this is kind of a blown cover for her, though. I did go back to the last Arya chapter and see what her cover story is. She's an orphan from King's... not an orphan, but she's from King's Landing. So she says she's a Night's Watchman.
And she came on the ship in Nymeria.
When she says something to Sam, like, you don't look like any Night's Watchman I've ever seen. Like, how many Night's Watchmen would a random girl from King's Landing really have seen? Even if you are from Westeros.
Unless you're from the north.
Winterfell.
And Winterfell.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you see him, like, if you're, like, next to Molestown. Like, I don't know what the next closest thing is, but...
I don't know if we're right at this part yet, but Kyle kind of said it earlier. Like, when he's like, oh, what's your name? She's like, I'm no one. But you can call me Cat. Like, just say I'm Cat. Like, don't say I'm no one. It's kind of giving part of it away. Like, just leave that out.
I think that's for Kyle.
Yeah, that's for the reader. Yeah, for sure. The first time reader.
Which I want to think back to my first time reading it. Like, in my tired state of reading, did I blow over that and not know this was Arya? I think
that's part of it, because you could.
50% chance that
I don't know. I feel like if you miss this one, that's on you. This was laid out there pretty thick.
I will take the blame.
But without that line, without the no one line, could you have blown over? I think it's a lot easier. You're right.
If it was just Kat selling oysters, I mean, it was just her. She just did that, 2 chapters ago, 3 chapters ago? Yeah,
it seemed pretty on the nose,
I
guess.
I guess for us, that's tough, though, because it was 2 months
for
ago.
us, it's almost a month, especially with your escapades. But, yeah, so she comes up. She's like, idiots, Night's Watchman. And, there's another one of you at the Happy Port. So, that's where you'll want to go. And he's like, yo, you want to buy some clams? I ain't got no oysters left, but got some clams for you.
Yep. She also tells Sam, be careful. Don't say... If they ask you who the most beautiful woman is, say the Nightingale, or else they'll challenge you. This comes later because when she gives her backstory, she says this is how her dad died.
Papa died. Yeah. Her papa was the head oarsman. What was the title? Captain Oarsman? Of Nymeria.
Of Nymeria.
Or Master on Nymeria.
Or Master.
Yep.
And he claimed that somebody else was the most beautiful girl, and bam.
Her mother.
Her mom, yep. Which I was trying to find a connection to her real mom and dad, and I couldn't find anything, so I don't know. But
what's the Nightingale? Is there any Nightingale? What is
that's
that?
Just who I guess all the Bravos
Is she a real person? Is she a female goddess?
First entering in the notes for this chapter, so all we've heard is what we just did.
All right. And the boys want Sam's cloak. They haven't been scared off yet. They're like, yo, fat guy. And bam, Arya, knife.
She's like, don't give him anything or else he'll be naked soon. Give him one thing, they'll just keep taking. So she pulls out a knife, and she's like, cats that howl get thrown in the canals. And Arya's like, not if they have claws. And she pulls out a knife. And they laugh and just move on. And then now it's just Sam and Kat for a little bit. Yeah,
so we kind of hit on this. She's like, yo, are you really a brother? Because I haven't seen a brother that's as fat as you. He was like, yeah, I am. Who are you? I'm no one, but I'm actually Kat.
She gives Sam the last of the clams, and he just starts crushing them. Not half a thought of we should save some of these for Aemon.
Well, they're too good.
He doesn't mention having clams when he goes to see Daemon or Daron.
These clams were for Sam. And Sam alone. Listen, leave it alone.
And this is where we learn that they did buy a boat or passage on a boat.
Yep.
And they didn't wait for him because of the things we mentioned. They're like, the dude wasn't waiting for Aemon anymore to get better. And then when he was like, he went to see him and he was like, Aemon's not getting better. And that dude's not coming on my ship.
Yeah. Because it's weird, Sam doesn't explain anything. Our Kat is like, what ship are you going on? And he says the name of it. And she's like, what are you talking about? That ship has been gone for a week. She says days and days ago. So to me, days and days is 2, days is 2, so days and days at least
4 days ago. Yeah,
I don't think obviously Arya's being that specific or Kat's being that specific, but
who knows? Timeline doesn't matter.
Well, and it was also him and Daron watched it leave, and Daron's been missing for a little bit here.
At least a day.
That's what I'm saying. It's at least a couple days since it went. That's all.
Yeah. The one funny thing here is Kat does seem to make a distinction between a real Bravo, like the type that killed her dad, and these camel cunts, as she calls Taro and
it's quite the name.
I didn't know that you were going to use the slur, Nelson, on the podcast.
Is that a known slur? Or I
feel like it's a slur. Even if it's a Game of Thrones slur, it's still not something I would I don't know that I want to be saying.
I don't know. When the Hound used to say it in the show, we were pretty.
Did that cunts?
Glow
just
used to
cunts
say
in general, yeah.
Yeah, Glow had a weird accent for it.
I don't remember. I just feel like camel cunts is a book only insult. It's a good one. I like it.
I
needed to get it in there.
It's probably book only because it borders on being a slur.
It's good.
So my next note is that the conversation goes back to Daron, and she had heard that Daron was about to marry the sailor's wife.
That's the important part, right? And Sam's like, "Whoa, he can't marry anybody."
Yeah. Sam doesn't quite understand. We learn a little bit more about this later. He says it's only for a night, and you have to marry her to sleep with her. So it just
it's just her. It's her
fake wedding ceremony before you do your thing, and then it just
you pay for the package. You pay for the wedding package.
Sam doesn't understand all that at this point.
It's part of the theater.
Sam's like, no, he can't get married, and he's like, where is the happy port? And he's like, I'll take you, and he's like, I know. It's then why'd you ask? Well, I guess she says it's across from the.
Well, she gives him the heading, and he's like, all right, I can get
the
there.
Mummer ship. Yeah.
I know where the Mummer ship is, so he had to go to the Happy Port to stop him, and He goes in. Daron's there with his wife. Girls just throwing themselves at Sam, the Slayer, the man, the myth.
One-eyed girl. Yeah, we find her later. Her name later is YNA.
Ina. Could just be
Ina. Yeah, that's the girl that's all over Sam, the one-eyed girl with big boobs.
He stiff arms her pretty quickly.
Somewhat, I watched a video somewhere that was criticizing George for being sexist, and I was like, "This is bullshit." But one of the things they commented that I've noticed, and they're just 100% right on. Every time George describes any woman, one of the descriptions is her breasts. Like, we'll never get a new character that's a woman, and the first thing that we learn about them isn't like the size of their breasts. Like, it's just always the first description. Ever since I've learned
it's pretty
it, like,
important
I
information.
learned it like a book and a half ago. It's just true every single time. Like, we learned about like every breast of every girl in this, even if we don't learn their name. It's like, dude, George, okay.
Just gotta throw it out there. Just gotta make sure you know. So Sam's pissed. Like, Daron, what are you doing? And he's like, yo, come on, Sam. Like, enjoy the night with me. It's my wedding night. Let's go.
Yeah.
Get yourself a drink. Grab yourself a bridesmaid. And let's make this the best wedding ever.
Let's party. Time to party, baby.
Sam's like, no, you're breaking your vows. He's like, haven't you ever gone to Moldtown? And Sam's like, no. It's like, you and Gilly were in the woods for a long time under that cloak of yours. Nothing ever happened. Sam's like, no. Like, what are you talking about? Of course not. And he's like, well, chill. It's happening for me. Get a cup, find a whore, and get the fuck out.
Me, yeah.
You're badgering me to death. Get out of here.
Yeah. And Sam's like, did you remember us? Like, I have like an old man and like a baby that are
Shit's
relying on
important
you for
back there,
food
yeah.
and stuff. And he's
We
like,
need your
don't be a
silver."
party kill Slayer.
We're on a mission, Daron. Let's go. You're coming back with me.
Daron's like, is this how you killed the other? By scolding it to death?
Bored to death, yeah.
I laughed at that line. That was a good one.
Like, you can understand Daron, but in this moment, he was being a huge dick.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Oh, yeah, he's a huge
You have
dick.
to realize when you're in the wrong.
At least give him like half the silver back, or like let
Yeah,
him
give
go
him money
do
for bread for the baby
yeah,
and name
let
him.
him go do some of the actual mission that they're on.
Yeah.
But Daron's like, screw it. I'm not a brother. I'm not in Westeros.
And he's
And
over it.
I ain't going back.
Yeah.
I'm free.
I'm actually
fucker.
leaving.
Yeah.
I'm fucking leaving. Throws his cloak at Sam, and he's going off to consummate the wedding until Sam Slayer beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, that's pretty much what
Yeah.
happens, right? Yeah.
Yep.
He turns around to walk away, and Sam punched him.
Very un-Sam-like.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Yep, right in the mouth. Then knocks him over a table and just goes
He
to
beats
town.
the fuck out of him.
Then he
yeah,
he headbutts him.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
wins.
he's just-
Nobody wins in a headbutt. Like
yeah.
you
Sam
gotta
does.
be.
It's a big. I'm sure he has a big head. Just a
Yeah, I
heavy
mean,
head.
at some point you're gonna feel
Meat.
that headbutt.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to town, and then next thing he knows, he
Thrown.
gets picked up by somebody, and he
Big
just
dog.
hits that person and goes back at it, and then he gets hit in the back of the head, and next thing he
Yeah.
knows, splash, he's drowning in the canal that he quickly gets to the bottom of. Like, I'm guessing this canal is like 6 feet,
Canals aren't deep, right?
maybe like
Yeah,
10
I don't
feet.
think it should be that deep.
7 feet. Like kick
he's
up,
making
Sam.
a scene.
Kick.
He's making a scene. He doesn't know how to swim.
At one point, he thinks he's climbing up, and his head hits the bottom, and he's like,
Why
going
doesn't he
the
know
wrong
how to
way.
swim though? He's of royalty. He probably had a pool.
I think this is where we learned that
I don't know.
Hyle and Sam have met before. Is like Hyle was kind of like helping Sam learn how to swim in a pond, and like Randall just tossed him in. Like there was
I
no
feel like that happened. Yeah.
There was no like
and he didn't
easing
enjoy
way.
the water. Yeah.
Yeah, and he like Randall just like tossed him in, and then he's been like afraid of it ever
Well,
since.
right, and that's why he was afraid to be on the ship,
On the
right?
ship.
So now he's like
Yeah.
traumatized. Yeah.
Grow up, Sam.
I guess. And then, like I said, the sword belt didn't help either. It was wrapped around his legs.
Yeah, around his legs.
Yeah, but it's loose. Like if it was wrapped around his waist, it's skinnier than his ankles.
I guess. But if you're
Like,
kicking around
shimmy
trying
out
to
of
get
it.
free, that
It
can
could
really
get
hinder
tangled.
your.
You could somehow double wrap it.
Yeah.
No.
Twist it up. That'll really
No.
hinder your efforts.
But he gets pulled out.
By
Yep.
a Summer Islander.
Big Summer Islander.
Big
find out
dog
his name is-
Zondo.
Zondo. Dope name.
That is a cool name.
Pretty nice. Yeah.
And he's like, it was funny when you hit that guy. I speak a lot of languages. It was funny when you hit the singer. And I did hear you mention dragons. I know about the
No,
dragons.
he's like, ho ho ho! You owe me a cloak, brother. You owe me new feathers.
Yeah, you owe me new
his
feathers. 'Cause look at
feathers
mine,
got
they're all
screwed up.
fucked up.
I didn't know feathers couldn't get wet.
Yeah, I mean,
Not all of them. Yeah.
they don't dry well. Yeah, you'd think they
What?
dry decently well.
Yeah, I don't know.
All birds get rained on at some point, right?
Yeah, but like I mean, it's on a bird. it's alive.
feathers are kind of
feather
like
at that point, right?
shingled, so like normally they like run. They make the water run off each other really well. If you make your cloak the same
And then
way,
the bird
then...
like preens it and
Do
fucking
dead feathers not get it done? I guess not.
So Zondo, he pulls them out. You want me to do feathers? He's like, I know about dragons. He's like, I mate on the cinnamon wind, so I speak many tongues. Cinnamon wind. This is why we take notes. Cinnamon wind. When have we seen the cinnamon wind before? This is a boat.
That's why I have you taking
Was it at
notes.
Karth, Nelson?
Yes. When Danny is at Karth, Gohoro Mo, the captain of the Cinnamon Wind, shows up and talks to Danny and delivers the news that Robert is dead. So Cinnamon Wind is just like the news.
It's just been flying around.
They bring the news of Robert to
Spreading
Danny, and
rumors.
now they've at least seen Danny at Karth, which is post-dragons.
With dragons. Dragons
I don't
for
know if this guy
babies.
saw the dragons with his eyes. I could probably go check this
Somebody
chapter and
did.
see if
Captain
they're in the
did.
room when the captain shows up. But yes, so now Sam is, again, chapter ends, but Sam literally just found a guy. Again, we don't know if Zondo does, but Captain theoretically should have first-hand knowledge of.
Yeah. And this dude's willing to
It's
come talk to
believable.
Eamon, too.
Yeah.
Believable.
So again, spoiler, I don't think so, but because technically we know all of this before. If Kyle was taking better notes, he would know this, you dumbass.
Yeah, because everybody reads books like that.
Figure it out, Kyle.
The real answer is that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's another thing that makes this chapter kind of cool, is right? Like we see Arya, we see the Cinnamon Wind, which when you kind of piece together like what that actually means, it is kind of cool, especially because Aemon's dying. He wants one thing, and wow, look, we kind of got that one thing right at the end. And
Perfect.
Sam has this very un-Sam like moment where he beats the shit out of Daron.
Well, that was the middle part, right? Like I feel like it started slow and ended strong, and it was what it was. The Arya stuff was kind of, like I said, a little overt for me, and it wasn't as exciting, I guess, as you'd think it was for me.
You're crazy. Especially at this point in the story, we don't get crossovers of any characters like that much at all. Like,
I know,
even
but I
with-
feel like
let alone, like, talking.
If this turns into something more, if that was it, then my point stands. If he runs into her
You
again,
mean like
then
if in the next Arya chapter Sam's still here or something like that?
yeah. If
Okay.
something happens, then maybe
That's fair.
I'll agree with you. But currently, it's
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, in the few times that the sections of people cross paths, like, we haven't had a whole lot of that. Like, it's cool. Especially in a while. Like, Tyrion and Kat, maybe,
Yeah.
like, on the road.
Last little one I can think like this is Jon and Bran. Or I guess Sam and Bran. But Jon and Bran pass each other at Queen's
Right.
Crown. The
But they
tower,
don't
But they
talk.
don't talk. Bran sees Jon.
yeah. No,
Bran
that's a
and
good
Sam
one.
do. Think about some other ones real quick.
Jon and Sam cross paths. Right? They were together for a while, then they split up for a whole book, and they cross paths shortly when Sam helps Jon win the election. Now they're not together anymore.
Well, I mean, they're in the same sector. Like, they should cross paths. They're both at the wall. I'm saying,
like back in book 2, Battle of Blackwater, we have Davos and Tyrion. Right? They both are setting eyes on the same events.
yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, closer to this, like,
Actual
they're
interaction.
actually talking. Like, they're actually, like, Catelyn is at the inn and Tyrion's there, right? Like, that doesn't happen a whole
Yeah,
lot.
exactly. That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
that'd be like Sansa right now dressed
that's
as
why I get geeked up
Elaine.
about this little half a paragraph.
Sansa and Littlefinger.
Yeah, we don't have Littlefinger chapters.
The Hound,
Okay.
or, before, whatever. Like, that's what, like,
Yeah, like right now,
But I guess they
Brienne
knew
is
each other,
kind
so
of
that's not
close to
really-
where Arya was, but
Yeah.
it's not same place, same
like
time.
Yeah, they
if
did
Brienne
that-
did knock into Sam when they, like, stop at the next
That was like
port.
that inn
would
of
be
the
cool.
Kneeling Man or whatever. They all showed up at repeatedly.
That was close, right? Like Jamie showed up there
I
close
think that
after
counts.
Arya
I don't know. I
passed.
feel like you're adding a lot of stipulations on this to make this kind of make
People
it.
at the same place at the same time is my one. I guess my two stipulations.
I don't know.
Like you're saying, same place, close time, which is also cool. I admit, like when you realize that Jamie's at the same inn that Arya was just
Yeah.
at, or whatever.
They almost crossed.
Well, I mean, the John and Bran thing, they're at the same place at the same time.
That's why that was my first example.
Okay, well then I agree with that. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, like, if someone from Dorne runs into someone from the north, but they don't even realize it, but like they crossed, and they like maybe had a passing word. Like, I think that's pretty cool. That like we know that like player and player, but they crossed. It's like, oh, they didn't actually cross.
Like the Hound and Arya, right?
But it's not a POV. it's cooler when they're both POVs, which is this one.
They have to be both POVs. Okay, this is what I'm saying.
That's
You're
the
adding
extra,
stipulations
the
now.
extra stipulation.
Like,
All right, let's wrap it up.
We're just wasting time now. Kyle, any other thoughts? Jeff, any other thoughts?
Nothing good.
I like the chapter. It went, again, a lot of things that, come on, get to the point.
You can't say it's one too long. This is as short as you're going to get in Feast
Yeah.
of Crows.
Yeah,
Next
no,
one's
it read
twice as long.
well. I think it read
I think
well,
Eamon
so.
dies here. How about that?
Wow, what a
Wow.
prediction.
Morbid.
I like the way that Eamon predicted his own death. He's like, the stranger's outside my door. Like, we're not. He's like, I can't run back to the wall. Even that's not an option at this point. The stranger's outside
Yeah.
my door.
Yeah,
And then when
it's-
Sam
my
goes out to
time is
lead, he's
coming.
like, okay, time to go face the stranger. Because
Yeah. Or
Kinda cool.
Gilly locked the door. Don't let the stranger in.
the other thing
Yeah.
I want to say is, like, Sam gets reborn Drown God style.
A little bit. Yeah, he gets punched. The water punched
You
out
got
of
some
him.
CPR, little belly punch.
100% got Drown God.
That's not how I was taught CPR training.
Yeah, it's like that's how they do it in TV shows. Just punch him in the sternum.
Just a hard punch.
But yeah, that's a thing I always think about too. Is like,
So now he's basically Ironborn.
what does Dead Man Ever Die?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just thought that was cool too.
Sam the Slayer, man.
Wrap it up.
You wrap it up, Jeff. Do you have anything else to say?
I don't know. I feel like I've gotten everything out.
All right, we'll see you in the next one for Jamie 3. See Kyle in that one? See the rest of you guys in this one section.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Later, nerds.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Bye, Kyle.
Bye, Kyle. Thanks for hanging out with us.
See you on the next one for Jamie 3. Now on to the spoiler section. Jeff, what we got?
What do I have? I don't know if I really do. Do you tell me if you have like a lot, and I'll throw some out.
I have a few quotes.
I mean,
this
Arya
one,
being Arya was kind of one,
Arya's
but
cool.
it was obvious. Arya kills Daron next Arya chapter.
That's true. This one's from earlier on. It's a quote. John had hoped that perhaps his songs might persuade a few young men to take the black. Instead, he sang of golden kisses, silvery hair, and red, red lips. No one ever took the black for red, red lips. This just felt like it means something to me. Silvery hair obviously means Targaryens. It also could
Okay.
mean Val, though, right? The wildling princess that's at the wall.
Why?
I think she has silver hair.
No, I
Mm.
thought she had dark hair.
I think she has silver hair. And red, red lips could be Mel.
Melisandre.
And if Mel has to kiss John Thoros Barrack style to bring him back, no one ever took the wall for silvery hair and red, red lips. There's also golden kisses in there. I just don't know what that one means.
Jamie. It'd be a Cersei kiss.
Kiss from Cersei, but Jamie didn't take the black. I'm thinking this is all John connection.
Cersei's gonna come up and kiss John.
So I don't know what it all means, but it just seemed weird. Like it could be a Johnish thing. Red, red lips seemed like Mel, and silver hair seemed like Val or Danny. Let me see real quick.
Johnson's getting kissed on the wall a lot.
Thick braid of honey-colored hair that fell to her waist. Honey-colored, so not silver, more blonde. Golden, you could say. Golden kisses. So there you go. Golden kisses from Val. Silver hair from Danny. Red, red lips from Mel. Or, and you can maybe fit red hair was Egret. So you can fit her in there too. I don't know. So it felt like a weird Johnny quote.
Yeah, I don't know.
This one you read. He could not blame Gilly for her grief. Instead, he blamed Jon Snow. He wondered when Jon's heart had turned to stone.
Stoneheart.
Stoneheart. And when did they start calling Cat Stoneheart?
Has it already happened? It's already happened.
Yeah, but like when do we stop calling her Cat?
After she died.
After she died.
John didn't die yet.
Yeah, we have and we're not calling him Stoneheart yet.
He's gonna die.
Yeah, and maybe they call it when he comes back. They call him Lord Stoneheart.
Nah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Think of something better.
That's what I was thinking. They both die is the connection there. It's why John's being compared to Stoneheart.
Yeah, okay, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. So you're saying a lot of these Easter eggs are John related, or at least that's what you're pointing to.
Yep. For the Stoneheart one, obviously he says when did John's heart turn to stone, and then Cat we call her Stoneheart because she died. And
I don't want John to be too weird when he comes back. I guess he kind of has to be because
People think he'll be wolfish. I guess there's one of George's really good friends named Robin Hobb wrote a book series called the Farseer Trilogy, where one of her characters, I guess they have a lot of similarities. There's a warging thing, and one of her characters dies, basically wargs into their wolf, and then somehow comes back to their body. And again, I haven't read it, so I don't know the details, but I guess when they come back, they're a lot more wolfish.
A lot angrier, a lot
I guess
snappier.
Snappier, maybe can smell things better. I don't know if it's like actually physical, but like
better senses.
And the thought is George is going to basically copy a lot of how that worked for
Wow,
John.
that's copyright infringement.
I think they kind of play on each other. Like George might have invented warging first, and then she used it, and then just like passed George because George was taking too long.
Did a little dying
had
thing.
To do some more with it, yeah. But I think that they kind of like have bounced off each other.
Okay. Talk to me about Zondo. Anything cool happen with Zondo?
I don't know Zondo specifically. I feel like Kahoro Mo, who is the person that Danny met in that Clash of Kings chapter, I feel like we hear a lot from him. Him and I think his daughter or his son. Maybe it is Zondo. Maybe it is Kahoro Mo and Zondo. Basically, they convince Sam and Gilly to have sex. Aemon dies, and they're like, okay, you two, we set in the Summer Islands, which we
Go
hear
bang it out.
Well, who are the other Summer Islanders we know? Not many Summer Islanders we know. Jalabarzo is one. That's not who I'm talking about.
Missandei?
Shataya and Alayaya.
The two. Yeah.
And I think they tell Tyrion, like, hey, we do this because in Summer Islands, like, God gave us all these different parts of our body to do, like, eyes to see, ears to hear, nose to smell. Like, why else did they give us our sexual parts if not to worship them in that way as well? And I think that's basically what Kahoro Mo and maybe Zondo tell Sam in the next chapter after Aemon dies, is like, hey, we pray for people when they die. This is how we're celebrating him. Like, they all get really drunk because they're drinking fire wine, I think, which is just like rum. And then he's like, go fuck Gilly because she's crying and she wants it or whatever. And then he does. So that's next Sam.
Did Gilly actually want it? Did she consent?
Yeah, she really wanted Sam's soft pink mast. I forget what the quote is, but it's one of the most infamous Song of Ice and Fire quotes ever. Whatever the description of Sam's penis is, has something to do with a pink mast in that chapter. So
not good.
Yep, there's that one. The other thing that I thought was kind of cool is I don't remember the details, but again, I always try and listen to the audiobook of the book that we're doing the podcast on and always be like 10 chapters ahead. I think I'm done Feast of Crows at this point. And I don't know, I can't remember details from my audiobook listen, but I remember Taro and or Bello.
We meet the Bravos again?
I think they're kind of common in the Arya chapters. They'll come up more than once in the upcoming Arya chapters. I think one of these guys might be the one that taught her how to cut a purse. I taught her how to pickpocket people and stuff like that. Like, they're just like random Bravosi people that she's kind of been rubbing shoulders with.
She continues to interact with them.
Exactly. And then the last one I had is when Sam goes to grab his sword belt off the wall before he leaves. There's a cracked horn next to it, the one that John had given him.
Yeah. That's the Horn of Winter. Horn of Jormungand.
Yeah, I actually think we skipped over it in the non-spoiler. Normally when there's things like this that I think might be kind of big and important, I try and make sure we at least mention them. We didn't mention this at all. I think the horn is becoming more obvious that it's potentially important because of like the King's Moot, where Euron just blew a big magic horn. Right. And then like we saw Mance with a big ass horn north of the wall. That's still in play. That'll be a big plot point in the Dance of Dragons. That big horn.
Well, how about this? Aemon really wants dragons, and he's got the dragon horn right next to him.
We don't know. Well, that
maybe
I think that horn is like the Horn of Jormungand, which would bring the wall down.
Okay.
Which, I mean, people say the Horn of Jormungand brings the wall down, but what we've heard quote wise is that the Horn of Jormungand will wake giants from their graves, which could mean dragons for all we know.
Right, giant North dragons.
Yeah. And then also, Aemon is dreaming of the Red Comet in this chapter, and then
I just kind of told me that there was an earlier. I mean, it's probably the same Red Comet, but like, was there Red Comets before too?
I mean, Haley's Comet comes back every year and a half or something. It's not that infrequently, right?
No, Haley's Comet is very infrequent.
Is it? I'm
pretty sure. I don't think we can see Haley's Comet again until like 2045.
Every 75, 77 years. Damn, you're right. So are we beat? It already happened in our lifetime and we're just screwed. We'll never be able to see it?
Look it up.
1986.
We got a chance.
2061. That's huge. I can make that. What year is it?
We can make that.
2025? I can make that.
What will we be? 70 something.
What is it? 61? I'm 30 right now. So I'll be 66.
Wait, what year is it coming back?
61.
So we're 36 years away from that.
My math is correct.
Yeah. Well, I just did the math too.
Yeah.
I'm 32. I'll be 68.
I think I can make 66. Actually, that's a big number. I mean, science. Yeah, I'll be fine. Science will advance.
You got enough money.
Yeah, right.
There was a comment that just passed over us that we should be able to see, I think, in like 2045. Not Haley's comment, but like recently there was one.
I wonder if there's like a real connection between the comet and Danny's dragons.
So just tell me, let's just get back on track real quick. Like Eamon's like, I'm still alive for something. He dies pretty quickly after this. Like, does he actually do anything? Does he have a message? Or... He
tells Sam a few more things. Like, I know Eamon is the one that says the riddle, the Sphinx is the riddle, not the Riddler.
Okay.
Which we can make to mean, do you remember who the Sphinx is? It's one of the people in Old Town in the prologue.
Oh, yeah.
It's a boy named Alaris, but really...
Which is...
A sand snake named Sorella.
Sorella, yeah.
So Eamon said, but the nickname is the Sphinx. Eamon, who obviously has never met this person, tells Sam before he gets there, the Sphinx is the riddle, not the Riddler. So again, like he says like some weird.
So then who's the Riddler?
I think he's just saying like the Sphinx isn't like someone who's going to be quizzing you. It's like the Sphinx is something to figure out themselves.
Yeah, but I think that implies that there is a Riddler out there.
Maybe.
Which, like, is it the old man Martell?
So I guess that's my point is I think the only thing that Eamon could be, and I think the other thing is like, or nothing. Like, why did the gods...
Right, or not.
George is atheist in real life when he's like, why would the gods leave me alive through blindness and all this stuff? Like, is it because we're on the cusp of half-remembered prophecies, or am I just fucking old and crazy and wanting it to mean something at this point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he doesn't send Sam with a message for like, send this to Daenerys. When you meet Daenerys, like tell her this.
I think he does.
Okay.
I don't know if it's anything important, just like Sam, I think it's more you must tell the maesters. You must make sure they send someone to her. She must be helped. And luckily, Sam gets guided to Marwyn, who decides like, okay, I'll do it.
Who's been dream candling
Who's
around?
the only one who would like be on board with this? And he's like, okay,
Marwyn.
I'll be the one that goes to her. So, and that's where we kind of leave off. So yeah,
interesting,
cool stuff.
They're definitely, they have to cross Danny and Sam. And Danny needs to kill Randall too, and Dickon. I actually thought that was a great little conundrum.
When Danny and Sam meet and they're like kind of at first happy, it's kind of like it's like your
great.
buddy, it's like your boyfriend's best friend meets your girlfriend for the first time. And they're kind of excited, like, oh, we're gonna get along, and it's like, oh, I killed your family.
Yeah,
it gets awkward real quick.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the better.
Yeah, I think Feast of Crows is one of those books. I think I said it before. This book is definitely one of the ones that will get a lot better if Winds of Winter ever comes out.
Once we start tying some shit up.
Yeah, this is like definitely like setting connections up that I think some of them get tied up a little bit in Dance maybe, but most of them probably don't get tied up till Winds or future books. So yeah, I mean, this one's will only get better with time.
All right.
But yeah, that's all I have for this one.
Wrap her up.
Sam, next one. Jamie, 3. See you guys in that one. Bye-bye.
Bye.